everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you're enjoying your week. Today I've got another magic review for you. I'm taking a look at Liquid Cash by Harrius. Now this is a new bill penetration effect that was put out this month. You can pick it up for $12 directly from Harrius, and I will leave a link below to his site. You will get access to an instructional video, which is a little less than 15 minutes, where you're going to watch the effect performed, and then you're going to learn in detail how to perform it. So I'm going to try to go over those questions that you guys have about this. I'm going to give you a really good idea about how I've been performing this, getting really good reactions, and then I'm going to give you guys, of course, my rating. I'll talk about a couple of other products and some final thoughts. So what is Liquid Cash? This is a slow motion, impromptu bill penetration of one bill through another. This is not an original idea. There's a lot of effects like this out there, but what makes this effect really something special is that it's very easy to perform, it's very visual, and you can use any bills. In fact, it's probably better if the bills are different colors too. It doesn't matter if they're paper bills or those plastic bills. There's no angle restrictions at all, and there's a really nice convincer that's built in that makes it look like the bills are really, one is really inside the other one, and it really is penetrating, which I think you're gonna like that a lot. In terms of difficulty, I would rate this as absolute beginner. There is no sleight of hand here. There is just a little bit of handling that you're gonna have to learn in a very small setup, which is really easy. And if you pay attention to what I'm telling you, I'm going to give you guys an idea of how I've been performing this, which will help strengthen the setup even more, so the spectators would even suspect even less. So when you're done with the effect, you can immediately hand out the bills immediately to them. So what do I think about it? I really like it a lot, especially because you often find yourselves, if you're into magic, where a person will be like, hey, show us some magic, and you've got nothing on you, you know? Or perhaps you just meet somebody new, and those people that are there are like, oh, hey, they do magic, ask them to show you something. And then you're like put on the spot. You're like, oh, great, now what am I gonna do, you know? And so this may be the solution for you. And so for that reason, I think that it's really a good effect. In terms of the real negatives that I found when I road tested this, was the first negative was that when I first started doing it, people wanted to see it again. And the problem with it is because there is a very small setup, you don't want to have to go through that again. So this is not like the type of effect that's good to, you know, repeat, because the people might get wind of what's going on, because it is actually really simple. And so for that reason, I think that this is the type of effect that it really can't stand on its own. It's not even a real routine. It's just like a one phase, slow motion visual bill penetration. And so when I road tested this, I quickly found that I had to add another effect to it to form a complete routine, which I'm going to go over with you guys here in a minute. But I do think that this is really strong as a segue into other types of magic that use bills. So if you do like a 5-to-1 transpo, a serial number divination, or even a witch hand effect, then those are all excellent ways that you can get into them using this effect as like a gateway or like an entrance to go into those. And I'm going to show you guys how the bills that I carry with me also will facilitate me to go into the worker that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago now, which was Right by Rand Pink. I actually carry around the bill for that, so I'm ready to go into that if I want to. So I think that those are really the 2 points of this effect that are probably the weakest, is that it's not really a real routine and it really can't be repeated again. But if you structure this in an intelligent way, you won't need to do that. So I'm going to show you guys how I've been using this, and then we're going to get into the rating of it. So when somebody asks me to show them something, I'll ask them, you have 2 bills? Or if I want to show it to somebody, I'll ask them if they have 2 bills. The issue is that nowadays, people don't carry money with them anymore, because people use, you know, they use their Apple Pay or they use credit cards. So people don't even have cash on them anymore. And so that's why it's a good idea for you to carry a couple of bills with you. And right now, this is the wallet that I've been carrying around with me more than any other as like my everyday carry. And this is the Jack's wallet by the Tannery, which I purchased myself, of course. And in here, I do have the bills that I like to use with this because they are different colors, and so that's kind of nice. And like I said, one of them is already set up for me to go into Right by Rand Pink because I already have the number written on the back of it. It's actually kind of funny because this $100 bill is actually fake. This is like the one from the motion picture, you know, prop money. And it's kind of funny because even though when you look at them, it looks like, oh, that looks really fake, right? When you compare it to a $10 bill. But here's the funny part. Here's a real $100 bill. And when we compare them, guess what? They look exactly the same. In fact, you'd have a really hard time telling the difference of these from more than a couple inches away. You'd have to really look at them and read what's written on it to really know the difference, which is kind of funny. But the reason why I like using this is because at the end of the routine, I will tell them, oh, it's not even real money. That's why this is possible. Like, it's just fake. What you saw was just an illusion, you know, and that always gets a really good laugh. And I really do like the option of going right into Rand Pink's effect right. Now, the way that I like to perform this, I'm going to give you guys that idea, is I use another bill penetration effect first, which is called Tembus is what it's called. Tembus by Robert Bertrand. You may be familiar with it. I think it's like a $10 download from Penguin Magic. Now, I learned Tembus a couple of years ago. The issue I had with that quick bill penetration was that it was so simple, and it was something that you really couldn't repeat because the person very likely will figure it out on their own. So alone, it's not a very strong effect, I felt, but if you combine it with this, it makes it really strong. And here's the way that I do it is that I will take out these bills if they don't have their own bills. I will tell the spectator to fold them in half. Now, they've already been pre-folded, so it will be really easy for them to do that. I'll have them fold them in half and fold them in half again, and I will tell the spectator to put one inside the other. I tell them like this, put one inside the other. So they'll put one inside the other, and then I will get into the position, which is the exact same position for liquid cash. And you can let the spectator look at this as much as they want, inspect it. You could say, you know, one is inside the other, right? And they'll say, yep, right? And they put it in there so everything is above board. And it's at this point where I will do Tembus at that moment. I'll do the fast bill penetration. And I don't need to really expose it on here. But anyway, it's so simple. But the best part about it is that now they're going to be really amazed by that. You're going to get a really big reaction. And as soon as you're done doing it, you know, you now have all the time in the world to do the setup that you need to get ready for liquid cash. So now you're ready to do liquid cash, and they're going to be like, you don't have to even say anything. They're going to be like, oh, let me see that again. Let me see that again. And so you get right into the position. You say, okay, all right, I shouldn't repeat this, but I'll show you one more time. So now you get right into position to do liquid cash. And the beauty of it is that it looks exactly like you're in the same position, like there's no difference in the position. So in their mind, they're going to assume nothing has changed, that this is exactly the way it was. And like, as I mentioned before, you do this really nice convincer where you show them that the bill is really inside the other one, which is like just perfect. It's like icing on the cake where you do that, where you like pull down on it, you show them that it's really inside there. And then right there before their eyes, you just start to penetrate one bill through the other one. It's just going to destroy their mind. So you do the slow motion penetration, and then you immediately hand the bills out. Now, their mind is going to be exploding because keep in mind, they just saw you penetrate one bill through the other one really fast. And in their mind, here's their thought process. Did I really just see that? Did that really just happen? That's their mindset. Then the second phase is, holy crap, I'm actually seeing it happen in slow motion right in front of my face. Crazy. Mind is going to explode. And now you're left in a position where you can do anything you want at that point. Like now, if you want, you can like use one of the bills and do like a witch hand effect. Like I said, I like to go into the effect Right by Rand Pink because I already have the bill ready to go. Or you can just be done and walk away. But I think that the marriage of these two effects, Tembus and liquid cash, lead to a more coherent routine where each of the methods kind of cancel each other out. So the spectator won't know what to think, which is why I recommend it to you guys. And I've been getting really good, strong reactions using that. All right, so let's take a look at my rating. Here is my rating for this effect. And you can see that some categories I rated it really high, like practicality and the teaching, I thought are absolutely excellent. In terms of comparison with other effects, I rated this as 4 out of 5. I think that the real other effect that you may want to take a look at is the age-old Ghost Bills by Andrew Mayne, because that is another impromptu bill penetration effect. Although Andrew Mayne's routine is a 3-phase routine, it will require some practice because it's not half as easy as this effect is. But if you're looking for a more complete routine, then you may want to take a look at Andrew Mayne's effect, which is why you could see here that on routining, I only really rated this as 1 out of 5 because it really is not a complete routine. And in terms of the price, I rated this as 2.5 out of 5. And the main reason being that I think they should have just charged you $5 or $6 for this. I don't really think it's really worth $12 for such a simple idea. Anyway, this gives us a final rating of 3.42 out of 5. It's still favorable, and I think that if you're into bill penetration effects, if you're looking for a piece of magic that is completely impromptu, that doesn't use any difficult sleight of hand and very visual, then this is something you may want to take a look at. But be warned that you really are going to need to add something else to it, because otherwise it's going to feel very incomplete, and it's going to feel almost like just like a throwaway effect almost, because it's so fast and it'll be done almost instantly. Anyway, I hope that I've given you guys some ideas and piqued your interest in this bill penetration effect, because I'm having a complete blast with it. Anyway, thanks so much guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them for me below, and I'll see you guys on the next review.